Lou, we're on the air. It's Thursday. What are you doing?
I was just tying my hoodie up. I was just getting my...
Looks like he had a tie
In his
on.
defense, all week long, it started off with us two and then brought him in. Today, we went right to all three.
Well, this is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. We should be popping up on the screen to frighten the world all at the same time. Thank you so much. This is Run It Back. Chandler, Michelle, Lou.
I even forgot to turn my light on.
And you still look glowing and luminescent.
Your skin looks great. Is that what you want to hear? You're fishing.
Fish away. Oh, we got a lot of
I'm biting. It looks good, Lou.
We got DeAndre Jordan coming up a little bit later on, but let's start with a 50-pointer. I love a good 50-burger. Bing! James Harden, he had it last night against the Pistons. His first 50-point game with the Clippers, 24th of his career. Whoa, of his career. One behind Kobe for third all time. 8th 50-point game in Clippers history, but the first since Lou did it on January 10th of 2018. So he's the 7th player right now that's 35 or older to get a 50-point game. Second oldest player to do it on the second night of a back-to-back. That is so much information. What does it say about Harden? What do you make of this one?
I mean, the guy's just a professional bucket getter. He's been doing this his whole career, and he's one of these guys that we're watching, and he's also not slowing down at all, right? He's one of these guys like Steph, like LeBron, like KD, where they are still so productive, still an all-star this later in his career. It's super impressive, and James is one of the greatest scorers of all time. We always talk about how he had the foul change rule with how he create contact. He pat and then kind of step back, going right with left-handed, three-pointer, and he's still doing that at a high clip. So it's just unbelievable how he's managed to, keep his body in shape and health. He's, for the most part of his career, he's been very fortunate with injuries. Yep. And this is what he does. He gets to the free throw line, 16 to 20 from the free throw line last night. 14 of 24 and 6 of 13, very efficient 50. Feels like we're kind of getting numb to these 50 balls. Like 50 it's crazy back in the day. Now it's like, oh yeah, James had 50, like moving on. Like it's really crazy. So you really need to take a second just to appreciate how good these guys are at scoring the basketball
right now for the 50-point numbness about the whole thing. Lou, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Chandler, but 2 shows ago I also said it when they were still struggling. Like he has to put his facilitator hat down and he has to put on a scoring hat, especially when you got one of your prolific scorers out of the lineup. You got to be that guy. That's been your DNA your entire career. And so I understand what it looks like to have to sacrifice or to fit into a mold that's needed for a team concept. But every once in a while you got to pop out and show the fact that you can go out there and score with the best of them. You're one of the most prolific scorers that the league has ever seen. And forget all of the facilitating, you got to go out there and be aggressive. So it was good to see him go out and do that.
And I like it. I like it after smoking such a big lead against Phoenix.
Oh, yep.
James Harden, you know what? I'm going to come out, no Norman Powell. I'm going to be super aggressive tonight, and I'm going to lead my team to victory against a really hot, good defensive Detroit basketball team. So I like it was a short-term memory. They know what they did wrong against that Phoenix Suns team, I think last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, it was a back-to-back last night.
Yeah, this is a huge win on a back-to-back where James Harden basically imposed his will and said, I'm going to go and carry my team to victory tonight.
Short-term memory. Lou, picture it. It's way back in 2018. You're playing the Warriors. You go 16 of 27, 8 of 16 from 3. In 35 minutes, your 50-point night. What do you remember?
Honestly, I remember just being down big coming into the game, and my job has always been to score the basketball and put us in a position to either get back in the game or push the lead to 8 to 10 points. That was always my goal. If we were down 10, by the time I'm out of the game, get it to 4. If we were up 2, my job was to get it to 8 to 10 by the time that I checked out of the game until the next time that I came. And so I've always had tunnel vision with what my job was going out there on the floor. So I just remember us being down and going out there just playing freely, trying to cut into that lead. And then before you know it, I'm making 4 or 5 shots in a row. I'm getting extended minutes. And now we got a basketball game, and now I got to finish the basketball game. And I was just hot, and I had it going. I had the 3 going, mid-range, floaters. I was just passing the ball. It's just one of those things. When you hear guys say that they black out or they zone out, that's literally the feeling. You're just going out there trying to make a play every single time you touch the basketball when you're on the heater like that.
Took 16 threes that night.
You'd be taking 16 threes every night now, Lou.
Every single night you would have to be, which is kind of...
If I was playing right now, my game would have probably changed dramatically, just the way that the game is played, and especially how it's coached. Like, I've had coaches tell me where I've made all my money in the mid-range, that shot is no good here. We need layups or three-pointers. So at the tail end of my career, I experienced some of it, but now it looks like that's the full-blown way to play basketball, layups and three-pointers. It would have changed my game a lot.
That's crazy.
It is hard not to be that retired guy. Like, imagine if we were playing with all these possessions and no such thing as a bad shot. I took like 8 shots a game my whole career. These dudes are taking 15. Like, it would be so much fun.
It would be so much fun and so much money. Everything's just better right now. Another game that happened last night, Thunder and the Grizzlies. SGA, no shocker here, a 120-103 win for the Thunder. He had 41 points, 14-25, 10-10 from the line. He had 8 assists. J-Dub, missed it, 20 points, 7-17, 9 assists. Well, I was close. So he.
Can I have my flowers first before we continue?
Oh, go ahead. Yes. What were your flowers again?
I just hit the parlay yesterday.
And I didn't.
And you did not.
Did Lou?
I forgot what. This isn't about Lou. It's between me and you.
I had Bain in points, and I had OKC money line. So maybe I did.
I had the OKC money line, so I got half. Half is good enough for something. SGA continues to lead the league at this point in scoring. He's almost got 33 a game. I'm wondering, though, Lou, as we get closer to playoff time, is this a formula that will work, or are they too dependent on him?
I'm torn. I'm torn because it's a lot. But when you're averaging 32 on the season, almost 33, it's natural for your team to expect that night in and night out. That's your daily average. And so when you're going out and getting these 40s and getting these 50s, it's natural for a team to depend on that. Come playoff time, when they have to play a half-court style of basketball, he can score in a half-court as well. He's one of those guys that knows how to get to his spots. He can play 15 feet away from the basket. He can play 20 feet away from the basket. So I don't see it as a concern. I do think they will have to make some adjustments in the playoffs when teams are keying in on you. You're not going to get as many opportunities in the transition that he's getting now. The foul calls are probably going to be a little different, even though he's a magician at drawing fouls. But I wouldn't say they're leaning on it too heavily, but they will have to make some adjustments come playoff time.
Yeah, and you can even see in the half court, especially when SGA gets going, they'll just throw a double team at him, kind of like how guys have been guarding Luka. As soon as he crosses half court, if he's hit a couple buckets in a row, they'll just throw a second defender at it and then kind of put themselves in a scramble and have to force these other guys to make plays. So yeah, come playoff time, I think Jalen Williams is going to have a huge onus on him to get downhill and to be that kind of option to not allow them to do that. Chet's going to get back in the lineup. He's going to be another threat. But they have so many guys they can put on the floor that can space the floor, that can make shots. It's just when they do put this offense in a bind like that and take the ball out of Shea's hands, these other guys have to be ready to make plays. They can't just kind of stand around and let SGA do his thing, because a lot of teams are going to throw all these different coverages at him. They're going to blitz him. They're going to get the ball out of his hands. So it's on those other guys to make plays and step up and make shots in the playoffs when it's slowed down in the half court.
Is part of that Jalen Williams? Like, how do we get him scoring better?
Well, he'll be fine, but one thing about this OKC team is these guys cut without the ball more than any other team that I've seen in the league. So even